In a cheerful little alley in the local market of a faraway town, a locksmith was closing his shop for the day and locking the door, when he heard a strange noise from behind the door. It sounded like the clinking of metal. It was not the first weird thing that had happened in the shop. Sometimes the keys he hung up for display behind the counter weren't in their own spots when he opened the shop in the mornings, and he often heard giggling behind his back as he worked. Was all this trouble only in his imagination, or was there something more about the keys in the shop? Something the locksmith didn't know? Well, here's what happens every day after the door of the shop is closed and the lights are out. The keys made in this shop like to call themselves Keyrichers. They live only for the purpose of opening every single lock in the world, eager to see what wonders are there when they open. The shop looks different when the locksmith leaves. It looks like a small town where the buildings are locks and the people are keys. Keyrichers are always arguing over things. "Whose turn is it to open this lock?" the great priestess asks. "Me, it's my turn, priestess," says one. Now, let's not," begins the fairy of these. "Don't listen to him, it's my turn," says another. Or, "Hey you, yes you don't fit into this lock." "Yes I do, you're a liar." They fight about whose turn it is and which key fits which lock, so much that only a quarter of them have a lock to live in. The rest wander the shop and explore. Very well, you might say that explains the strange noises, but what about the switch keys and the giggling? Well, since they go exploring for hours, and there's so many of them, they don't remember their proper places in the morning, and yes, they argue about whose place was where as well. When the locksmith makes a new key, they watch eagerly for their newest member to be prepared. They watch and gossip about the locksmith and his apprentices, and naturally, when there's gossip, there's also giggling. Sometimes locked doors are opened as well. Rarely though, since they can't decide which key fits best and how to get up or go down to the lock, etc. To summarize, Keyrichers are keys that like pointless arguments and the latest, juiciest gossip. They love each other dearly, but they're too proud to admit their mistakes, particularly when one of them tries to fit themselves into a long lock. They're sneaky, since they hide from the locksmith every time he turns around to check. And last but not least, they can't get along. When the locksmith returned the next morning, he found the shop in chaos. Well, at least we know who the culprit was.